G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. First off, obviously I'm not at my stream setup. I am currently doing a 24-hour subathon stream that I didn't want to end, but I knew after FNCS Grand Finals I had to record a video, so I'm at my wife's setup. My stream is still running, so that's why I'm going to look a bit different. I'm going to sound a bit different. Hopefully it's not too weird for you guys, but I needed to record a video. It was FNCS Grand Finals Day 2. There is so much to talk about. Why did Click's team struggle so much? How did Benji's team go? Did Savage hold on to his top 5 position? Was Tayson able to win another FNCS? There are so many storylines to cover, and the aftermath. FNCS just ended and we have almost half the pro scene or more on NAE splitting. I'm talking all the biggest teams. We now have rumors of Click's, Day, and Miro. DGen's team splitting up, just almost everyone. So I'm going to cover all the major team swaps, who they said they're playing with, and all the storylines from Grand Finals today. So let's jump straight in. There's a lot to talk about. Before I talk about the team swaps, let's talk about the actual results of the Grand Finals, because man, were they exciting. EU, we had Kiriachi, Stormy Ride, and Twos hold on to their lead. They finished off on 295, but they fell off the pace at the start of Day 2. They brought it back at the very end with a 5 elim 9th and a 10 elim 5th to just close it out. They were 13 points ahead of Hottie, Elocrats, and Tripper getting second on 282 points. We had Pink, Nebs, and Stompy in third on 277. Seti Kami Teak on 272, and then Tayson's team on 271. Now, this is interesting because first off, I did not think Sludgy Swamps was going to do that good. I had Kiriachi as my top 5, but out of Sludgy, 11 chests between them. I don't really know why I predicted them to win. I just had a feeling, and they pulled it off. Absolutely ridiculously impressive to them. Hottie, Elocrats, and Tripper were doing it out of just the IO house at Orchard. They didn't even get Orchard and the IO house. It was all a little bit ridiculous. I'm very, very surprised they did as well with how little loot they had. Truly was a very impressive performance. A lot of it off the back of smart pushes over towards Mr. Savage and Malibuka's fight at Steamy, which, as you can see, Savage did fall out of the top 5, which is unfortunate, but they were very, very smart with their third parties. Incredibly impressive. But the team I really want to talk about, Pink, Nebs, and Stompy. They were contested every single game while they dropped it lazy, but after 9 games of being contested, still doing well, they decided to leave lazy and go middle map and actually found a lot of success. They weren't doing as well as some of their games, but they got a 9 elim win and an 8 elim second out of middle map, a drop they've never really gone to avoid being contested. And obviously there's been a big conversation about teams being contested and why they're doing so poorly and they never really had a chance. And while I still think some of that is true, if you were contested, you're at a massive disadvantage. To see teams like Pink, Nebs, and Stompy just change their whole game plan to then have a new strategy instead of just going into this 50-50 that isn't working, I've got to give huge props to them. They got a top 3, I'm going to say, while being contested, because they were contested, even though they switched up their playstyle. That is impressive in itself. Not really any other team tried to change their playstyle when things weren't working. They just kept going into the 50-50. So huge hats off to Stompy. Obviously, Kami Seti Teak, so consistent out of the Kami split. Tayson's team in 5th. Now, it's crazy to think that this is an upset, that a lot of people are now, sad that Tayson's team came 5th. 5th on EU, 1 point behind 4th, only 6 points behind 3rd. They did insanely well, but as a lot of people saw coming, if Tayson's team didn't win, even if they did win, Tayson was probably going to split with them. It looks like Tayson and Rezon are looking for a 3rd. They have dropped Vino. A little bit sad because there's been a lot of conversation around Vino, being nervous as a player, building up his confidence and trying to improve. And I really think he did that as a player, and I think he proved himself. I think Vino will not struggle to find a good team despite Tayson no longer playing with them. It really is honestly just a situation of Tayson. If he's not first, he's last. And some people don't like that about Tayson. They say it gives him an ego, but truly that's what I love about Tayson. He is a winner mentality. He wants to win. He wants to grind. He is competitive to his core, and if 5th place just wasn't good enough for him. So I guess we'll see who's going to fill that slot. We had Floki's team in 6th, Hen's team in 7th, bit of a comeback. Surprised they weren't higher up there. They were unconda craggy. These things didn't really come together. Don't really know exactly what went wrong for them. We had Aqua's team in 8th, again another team that I had really high hopes of to do well. Enlix's team was in 9th. We had Sapphic in 10th. Refscar dropped down into 11th, so Mr. Savage's team dropped out of their top 5. The contest was just too much. Malibuka's team kept dropping Steamy all 12 games. They kept clashing. They tried to disengage. They get no loot. it was just a little bit sad to see. It was really unfortunate, but again, it's Steamy Stacks, and Dredd's now gone there for, I think, 4 seasons, at least 3. They've only got it uncontested once, and when they did, they came second. So I guess they just keep dropping there for the hope that they get it uncontested. We obviously, you're going to ask about some of the other teams. Savid's team, which was a big fan favorite after yesterday. Unfortunately, they did really struggle. They dropped down the leaderboard quite a lot. They came in 21st overall. Super unfortunate after that game got voided yesterday. Benji Fishy's team in 25th. Everyone's been asking me what happened with them, why. They were just contested. They went corny. They were contested. It was really rough for them. They didn't really have a backup plan. They didn't change their drop. They tried to change up the play style, but after such a big performance week 1 out of the Kami split, I guess that drop really did just work for them, and corny just didn't. It's really sad to see. Moving over to NA East, and we had such an exciting day of games out of NA East. We had Dukes, Justice, and Users hold on to their 50-point lead on day 2, but it wasn't that secure. They started off the day in a 50-point lead, and they fell off the pace really badly. Their first few games were really, really shocking towards the end. They did start to struggle. I think they had 3 games in a row without getting any points whatsoever. At 28th, 18th, and 19th place with 0 elims, they dropped right down. Tabs G, Teo, and Pledge did the opposite. They kicked off day 2 with an absolute blinder of the first few games, got so many points on the board, reversed the lead to have a 50-point lead, and then unfortunately it was time for them to fall off the pace. Their last 3 games being a 21st, 26th, and 25th with 0 elims. It was really unfortunate to see, but Duke's team came back with a 8 elim third, a 3 elim fifth, but then a 6 elim win to secure the dub. And we had Centered, Edgy, and Commandment in second place yet again on 295. This is their 4th FNCS in a row coming second, and it's been a topic of conversation. What do I think about it? I think that this cements Centered's team as the most consistent team in the world. 4 second places in a row on NA East means they are by far the most consistent team in my eyes. Reverse 2K Day and Mirror came first, and then 4th. So that gave them an average placement of 2nd. Obviously, Centered, Edge, and Commandment had 3 seconds. They were tied in my eyes, but of course, winning them feels a little bit more special, so they won 2. But I would take 4 second places over 2 wins, a 4th, and what unfortunately ended up turning out to be for Reverse 2K's team, I believe it was a 15th overall. So really huge performance from Centered. They're obviously not going to split. Some of us say, oh, they're going to split because they didn't get a win. 4 seconds, that is so much money. That is such ridiculous consistency. I'm so impressed with how good this team is. They truly are incredibly impressive. We had Teo, Pledge, and Tabs G dropping down into 3rd, but 286 points for this team. A lot of people counted them out, myself included. I did not think they'd get top 3, but I could not be happier for them. If you didn't know, Teo had to go away for week 2 and week 3 of the qualifiers, so Tabs G and Pledge played with him knowing they had to make semifinals week 1. They had to get a top 15 in round 4, and then in semis, they had to get a top 6 or the reboot round. So massive for them making it through. That was so impressive. We had Saf, Kanata, and Stretch just fall short of the auto qual. Remember, top 3 are going to auto qual to next grand finals. So Saf, Kanata, Stretch played really well. Again, just really big wins, really high elim games on high ground, or they went down early. That's their playstyle. Go big, go home, go for high ground. 1 more game, maybe 2 more games if the high ground went their way, and they could have won the whole thing, but still really good performance from them. Slacks, Jack, and Acorn in 5th, again out of Sludgy. I don't know how they're doing it, but they are. Aspect, Kaz, and Who Fishy in 6th on 258. Little note about Who Fishy, I talked about this yesterday if you missed it. He's giving his entire month's revenue from his Twitch and 40% of his earnings, which ended up being $15,000 each to the Louisiana Relief Fund for the hurricane or the tornado. Super sad circumstances there, but awesome to see people like Who Fish in the community stepping up and doing their part. I respect it like crazy. We had DJ and Ages Skittles come in 7th on 248, which they weren't happy about. I'll talk about that in a second, but Ages and DJ actually dropping Skittles and looking for a new teammate. We had Nosh, Booger, and Avery just really struggled today with Surge, unfortunately. Their day 2 was really not great. Started off with a 25th, 22nd, 25th, 17th, and then got a 7th and a 12th place. So just not the day that Booger's team was looking for. Mega's team and then Joji's team. Obviously, the other big talking point a lot of you guys are going to ask me about, what happened to Clix's team? They came 33rd overall. They did come in dead last. It was just a day of battling it out at Steamy with one of the best Steamy teams. You could see their mentor just wasn't there. They went into day 2, they didn't change anything, and I guess they were just hoping for a different result, or maybe they were just trying to get over and done with, because as I'm about to talk about, unfortunately, Creo, Bucky, and Clicks have split, and it looks like Bucky and Creo especially did not split on good terms. Last but not least, I know I have not been talking about NA West too much, but you have to talk about Arkham, Rex, and Epic Whale winning yet again another trio FNCS. That is 4 in a row. That also is 5 FNCS wins for Rex and Epic Whale, and Arkham had the Invitational, so I'm counting that as 5 quintuple FNCS winners. 407 points. Last season, they went into day 2 not in the lead. The last 2 games, they needed to clutch up to get the Vic, and they did. They managed to get 2 wins in a row last season. This season, they almost did as well. They got an 11 elim win and a 9 elim second in their last 2 games. Their last game actually went down to them versing Reed's team, who ended up coming in second, who got the 8 elim win, but it just wasn't enough. They fell down by about 10 points, but Falconer, Reed, and Chris played so ridiculously well. 397 points to not win it is insane. Fabs, Kenshi, and Snacky on 392. It was really a 3-horse race for NA West. They had over 100 points on 4th. Unfortunately for Kenshi's team, their last game was a 2 elim 21st. If they just had pretty much anything better, they would have beat out Reed for 2nd place, but NA West was really, really fun to watch. Kicking off with the major team switches, obviously I'm going to talk about Bucky, Creo, and Clicks. Bucky tweeted out, losing super good friends because of this cartoon game, but it's my fault now. I'm just mad at myself, and tweeted out that Creo had actually blocked him. Creo tweeting out, looking for 2 fraggers that can listen and shoot their guns. So sad to see it. I didn't see it coming that it was going to maybe cause as many personal issues. I don't know exactly what went on there. I guess general frustration of coming last. I mean, Bucky, Creo, and Clicks are not last place teams in Grand Finals players. They are phenomenal players. Say what you will about, their placements recently, or Clicks does more content now, or, Creo's washed, or I'm sick of seeing that. They are phenomenal players, and they should not have come last. Something went wrong. You can blame it on drop spot. You can say that it was just steamy. They should have come up with a backup plan. They were too cocky. You can say what you want, but they should not have come last. Feels bad to see them do so poorly, and it looks like their way of fixing it is they're going to split up. They're going to find new teams. Hopefully, Creo and Bucky can patch things up. Again, it is genuinely sad to see friendships and long-term friendships, Bucky and Creo have been playing together for ages now, ruined over 1 FNCS. So I want to talk a little bit at the end of today's video about how a lot of pros seem to, and a lot of the community think that this was one of the worst FNCSs. It just didn't have the excitement and the anticipation a lot of the other FNCSs have, and I want to talk about why that might be without, again, going into a whole bunch of complaining. I had a fantastic weekend. I really enjoyed it, but I do get where the community is coming from. They weren't the only team switching it up as well. DGen tweeting out, looking for one with ages. This isn't a troll. DM on Discord. No surprise there. DGen ages were going to drop Skittles at the start of the season. If you remember, they picked up Kanata. That didn't end up working out. They picked Skittles up again, and I want to just kind of put it out there that I feel like when teams look to split and they want to split and they've decided they're going to, and then they go back together, I don't think it's ever once worked out. I mean, Hen, Janice, and Chapix, maybe. They talked about splitting a couple of FNCSs ago, but almost always it just results in them having one bad performance, and as soon as they do, they split anyway. So maybe split before you have the bad performance. Noah Riley, Vadil, and Rezon, they kept splitting, getting back together. Eventually, they finally cut ties in. It looks like that's what DGen and Ages are going to do with Skittles. Again, the other comparison is going to be Day, Miro, and Reverse. We have Miro tweeting out Clicks, Day, and Miro, so it looks like, Reverse is going to step away from this. The interesting part here is a lot of people thought Reverse was going to maybe quit, myself included. I thought that Reverse might be stepping away from playing Fortnite altogether. He's been getting really tilted. He seems like he is just overplaying in general. I thought it was going to be one bad performance and he'd call it quits, but it looks like Reverse 2K does want to keep playing, and I respect it. I am so happy Reverse is staying around. I'm one of his biggest fans. I think the amount of, disrespect he gets from the community is way too high. He is a phenomenal player who very much can still perform at the top of his game, and I think he'll find a really, really good team to back him up. But Clicks, Day, Miro at Dirty Docs, we'll see. Miro was saying in my chat today during a viewing party he'll never drop Dirty Docs again, so I don't know whether this is an impression farm or whether it's real, but do I think they could work? Yeah, Miro is stepping up into more of an IGL role more and more, especially playing with Ryze and duos. I think helped a lot with that. I think Clix is stepping up into more of an IGL role, playing duos with Day. We know Clix and Day work together. Fit Miro in there. They're going to be a very scary fighting team, that's for sure. I think they could have a really good performance depending on how seriously they take the game. Are they going to play scrims? Are they going to work on VOD reviewing? Are they really going to take the game seriously? Yes. Then I think they could be a very scary trio. There was a few team swaps over on EU, like I already talked about as well. We had Tayson and Vidil Tayson and Rezon looking for another one instead of playing with Vino now, but there wasn't as many swaps on EU. It really was focused around NA. If more information comes out over the next few days from the different teams and who they're playing with and all that, I'll probably make another updated video. I didn't want to make this a whole team swapping video because there is genuinely about 15 solid teams on NA East that have now split and looking for new teammates. And I think 95% of the ones that are forming right now, the day of FNCS, won't last. So if I think there's enough information that is worth going into detail in a video for, I'll make it. But until we get a new season, we get new drop spots, we get more information, I don't know if I will make a video detailing all of them. Just know that almost every team in NA East, or at least 10 to 15, have split up. I will go into more detail in a few days if I think it's worth it. Same with EU. If we get a whole bunch of info about EU teams swapping, I'll make a video on that too, but I didn't want to include it completely in the grand final video because I can already guarantee the next few days things will change. The last thing I wanted to talk about was this sentiment that this FNCS was one of the worst ever, or the least exciting. And again, I'm going to say this from, I didn't feel this too much. I felt like it was more people in the community. Again, I was doing viewing parties, a lot of people in chat saying it, a lot of pros saying it, and I think there was a few main reasons. One of which, people are just kind of bored of trios. And again, I agree. I love the idea of a set game mode. If it stays to trios, I will still be happy as long as we get a map that represents trios, but I've talked about that already at length. I'm not going to go into that, but a lot of people genuinely just bored of the fact that it's trios. They want to see different teams. They want to see different storylines. They want to see a different game mode in general, and they think that's what made Fortnite exciting, and that is what Fortnite was doing at their peak. We were changing game modes every season. People got really excited to see what the next season was. Yes, it created instability of the teams, but honestly, with Fortnite, there's instability of teams anyway. We have multiple teams getting top 3 in major regions, and they're still splitting up and not playing together again anyway. So are we sticking to the same game mode for any real reason, or are we just trying to make Fortnite pros act a way they don't want to act anyway? The second one is the fact that, like I already talked about with the map, it just felt like certain teams weren't on the even playing field as the other ones. If you happen to get an uncontested drop, and we've talked about why this might be, whether you put the time into it, just, whether you have that reputation, whether you were smart about it, but the teams who just didn't really have a good drop spot, it just felt like there was almost no coming back for them. There was no point cheering for them. There was no chance of a redemption. And for most of the teams, that's kind of the case. Any team that struggled day one didn't all of a sudden pop off and have an insane day 2 overall. There was a few teams, but not a lot. So I can kind of agree with that idea that it felt kind of futile. The last one being that a lot of the big names just didn't perform or didn't make it. We didn't have Mongrel in the finals. Savage was top 5, but he started getting contested. Benji was contested, not doing too well. Clix wasn't doing the best. There just wasn't as many of the big names that everyone's cheering on that were doing well or even playing at all. And again, I kind of share the sentiment a little bit. I'm really excited for next season. I would love to see it go to duos for that change up. I think duos would be better for the game with the map the way it is and having less loot. But after DreamHack, I said this in chat, so a lot of people agreed, the most recent DreamHack actually felt more exciting than an FNCS finals, and that should never be the case. Maybe people like duos, maybe it's the change of pace, maybe it's because duos are just better suited for this map, but there was a lot of people who really enjoyed duos coming back. It's not going to. We've already been told the next FNCS is trios. This is the last one, but maybe with a big meta shift, maybe a shift back to some more fun items like, some of the more fun mythics or some of the more fun seasons. I've talked about this, and I will be in the next few weeks or next week and a bit leading up to the new season. I'll make some videos for what I want for the new season, what I want for competitive next season, and like I said, I'm going to keep these mostly positive. I don't want to spend too much time complaining about things I've already stated, like today's video. I'm not going to rehash up my sentiments about the map being not the best right now. I'm going to try to avoid that, focus on what could make it better. Last but not least, a huge thank you from me personally. Like I said, I'm recording this right now because I'm doing a subathon on my stream right now. I am currently about 18 hours in. I have just hit 11,000 subscribers on Twitch. That puts me in the top 80 most subscribed to people on the whole platform. I just signed with NRG. I pulled 30 to 40,000 viewers for almost the entire viewing party. Like, I know I'm gonna have kids saying, oh, nice flex in the comments, but it's just to show that these are numbers and things that I didn't think were ever possible to me. I didn't think a quarter of this was possible. So I have had the best season ever, and I've had the most life-changing season ever, and I have you guys to thank for that. So even though FNCS is over, I'm still gonna be making all my videos, still gonna be talking about what I want from the new season, maybe some montages, maybe some gameplay from me because I'm playing more now the tournaments are over. I'll probably do some videos on the new season, maybe some guides. You guys always love it when there's new items, there's new drop spots, get some guide content going. So don't worry, even though FNCS is over and it was phenomenal, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still just as motivated to grind the content in the off season as I am during the tournaments. Alright guys, that does it for another video. I'm sorry it was a bit scuffed at me at the other setup. I hope it sounded and looked okay. If you enjoyed it, please chuck a like on it. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on anything I talked about. If you enjoyed today's video, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.